Parthiban Kanavu, English translation by Anand Kannan, narrated by Sujatha Anand. Book 3, Chapter 38. The Appropriate Punishment. It was the morning after the new moon night. Kundavi was in the Mamalapuram palace. As Kundavi waited, each moment felt like a lifetime. She would repeatedly climb up to the terrace, look around, rush down again, issue commands to the attendants, and talk to Valli, who had accompanied her from Uriyur. Amidst all this, her ears would be listening for hoofbeats. She would stop her conversations and listen for sounds. Not surprisingly, it was the arrival of Vikraman and Ponnan that she was eagerly expecting. She had decided what to do after Vikraman and Ponnan arrived. She had changed her mind and decided against sailing with Vikraman. It would give rise to rumors. Doing so would also create an opportunity for Vikraman to be captured again. Further, she could not bear to elope without talking to her father. She did not want her actions to bring dishonor to her father. She had decided that it would be more proper to let Vikraman sail away, confess everything to her father, explain that she had taken Vikraman as her husband in her mind, and ask for his permission. The emperor was certain to understand and grant her permission to sail to Senbaga Island. Hadn't he repeatedly said, "I am not going to make any effort to find you a match. You will pick your husband yourself." Kundavi's mind was racing with such thoughts as she waited for Vikraman. She got progressively more restless as the sun rose in the sky. Her heart almost stopped when she finally heard the hoofbeats late in the afternoon. Do I really want to bid farewell to Vikraman and stay behind? Is that what the great women of the epics do? Did Subhadra not go with Arjun? Did Rukmani not leave with Krishna? Why should I stay, letting my man leave? Besides, can I even bring myself to stay behind? Her agitation increased as the hoofbeats drew closer. The horses stopped at the front entrance. The servants had been ordered to show Devasenan the gem merchant in as soon as he arrived. The riders have dismounted and are walking into the palace. But what is this? It is the emperor. Her head spun on this realization. She recovered her poise and spoke. "Father, welcome back home. Where had you been all this time?" The emperor came close and gave her an affectionate embrace. He felt her body shaking and asked, "My child, why are you shivering?" "Nothing, just surprised to see you." "Very well. Sit down, my child. When did you return from Uriyur?" "Why did you return in such a hurry?" asked the emperor as he sat down. Kundavi's mind started racing. What if he arrives when father is here? Is there a way to message him to go to the ship rather than the palace? The emperor was apparently oblivious to her plight. "My child, I am leaving for Uriyur this evening. Do you want to come along? Or have you had enough of Uriyur?" "Going to Uriyur? Why?" asked Kundavi. "There have been several important developments. Queen Arulmozhi has been found." "Thank heavens!" "Yes. Do you know who found him? The phony sage that you often talk about." "What? Where is he? Who had imprisoned her? Was it, perhaps, that phony sage?" The emperor said with a smile. "Still suspicious?" "The sage did not abduct the queen. As I had told you before, it was the chief priest of the Kapalic cult, Maha Kapala Bhairavan. The sage risked his life in the attempt to save the queen. He was caught and taken to the sacrificial altar. Someone literally saved his life before the assassin's sword fell. Do you know who?" "Who was it, father?" "Devasenan, the gem merchant from Senbaga Island, and Ponnan, the boatman, arrived at the right time." Kundavi was about to say something, but no words came out. Her mouth remained open. "My child, there is another great surprise. Do you know who that Devasenan is? He is an impostor as well. He is really the banished Choya prince Vikraman. He apparently returned to see his mother and his homeland. Such nerve! Such audacity! Kundavi's voice shook as she asked, "Where are they now?" "They? Do you mean Vikraman and Ponnan? I have ordered them to be taken to Oriyur. I am headed to Oriyur for the trial. Do you want to come along?" Kundavi's equilibrium broke. All her pent-up emotions came to the surface as she placed her head on her father's lap and broke down. She sobbed. The emperor's face, which had a bright smile, darkened. He had tears in his eyes. He affectionately stroked Kundavi's head and back. He said, "My child, why are you sad? It seems to me that you have something in your mind. You can confide in me, whatever it is." Kundavi told him the whole story, haltingly and a little bit at a time. She told him about losing her heart to Vikraman when she saw him as he was being taken to the prison in chains. She told him about seeing Vikraman unconscious in Mahendra Mandap and taking him in her palanquin. She told him of the plans to help him to board the ship to Senbaga Island. Finally, she said, "Father, I have taken the Chora prince as my husband in my mind. I won't dream of marrying anyone else." The emperor's voice softened as he said, "My child, love is the only permanent thing in this impermanent world. When two hearts unite, God makes his presence felt. No one has the right to obstruct the union of those hearts, not even the parents. If you want to marry the Chora prince, I won't stop you. However, you should remember that the Pallava justice system is impartial. It is even-handed and applies the same way to a pauper and a prince. There will be a trial of the Chora prince. He will be sentenced after due investigation. If you still want to marry him after the sentencing, I won't stop you." Kundavi asked, "Father, what is the punishment for breaking terms of banishment?" "Usually, it is the death sentence. But there are things to consider in the case of Chora prince." "What things?" "You used to say that he is not responsible for his actions and that it was the phony sage who instigated him. I now believe that it might be the case as well. Now we have the sage too. We have to question him to get to the truth." Kundavi thought, "It is all the phony sage's fault. If he had not courted danger last night, the prince would now be safely on board the ship." The emperor resumed, "There is another matter to consider. Do you remember who lent the gem trader a horse to go to the Chora country?" "Father!" cried Kundavi in delight. She remembered that the emperor had assumed the guise of the spy chief to assist Vikraman in getting to the Chora country. "How does that affect the punishment?" she asked. "It will all be clear after the trial. Justice will be done. The Pallava justice system never falters," said the emperor. End of chapter 38.